guys, welcome back to my channel Wheelsnoheels. I'm so excited today because I have been joined with a special guest.
Aww.
This is Jessica. Her channel is amazing. It's linked down below. It's Jessica Out of the Closet. She talks all about her life with a disability, lifestyle.
Yep. Keeping things
that
fun and
jazz.
fabulous no matter what.
I get asked a lot about my daughter and my pregnancy and how I coped having a child and a baby in a wheelchair. And I met Jessica, and Jessica is freshly married.
Yay!
And she is now thinking about having a baby, and she has got some questions. And yeah, we thought it would be fun to talk about it, and I can give you my tips and tricks.
Please. Because, fortunately, I am a lesbian, so there are 2 wombs in my marriage.
There's womb for 2.
I actually really like that. That's quite good. So it's kind of a decision in which of us carries the baby. And I have a disability that means some of my nerves don't work. I also have connective tissue issues. Oh my god. You can go to my channel and find out what on earth I have. But the point is, I was told when I was first diagnosed that there is a risk if I carry a child that I could paralyse myself. Because the baby would obviously sits on your nerves. And for most women, that gives you really bad back pain. And, you might get some back issues after you've had your baby. But for me, potential paralysis. But I would really love to have a baby. I'd really love to be pregnant. So it's kind of a hard decision. And then, even if I don't carry the baby, lots of people say to me, how are you going to cope with a baby and a small child? And I find it really inspiring that you're like, yeah, it's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had a baby, but you just cope.
Yeah. The odd thing is I didn't feel any more disabled being pregnant. So I got pregnant, and I had awful morning sickness from dusk till dawn, and during the night as well. I was sick all day, every day, and they said, 12 weeks.
It will stop.
You'll turn the corner. 19 weeks came and went. 32 weeks came and
God.
went. And yeah, it was pretty horrendous the whole way through. I was really lucky. My little bump was tiny, teeny, tiny. So yeah, I didn't really even look pregnant when I left work. People were like, what?
Sure?
So I was really lucky in that respect. I did have a few more aches and pains and things like that.
There you go.
I've got to say, I was a bit nervous about the whole healthcare aspect of things, because obviously, if you've watched my previous videos, you know that my surgery went wrong, so I was very, very nervous about that. But the healthcare were absolutely amazing. I was seen by a senior gynecologist every week in the last trimester. I was also very nervous about how I was going to give birth.
Yeah.
Because I was not designed to give birth, okay? Maybe a bit too posh to push. But no, in all seriousness, I just could not see it happening. So I had a good old chat with the obstetrician, and she said, well, you could do it naturally, but I think you would struggle. And I was like, yes, please.
Thank you for recognising this.
Say the C word. So I think you should have a caesarean. Thank God. So I had a planned section. We knew the date, which was amazing. And I was very nervous about having it, because obviously it's major abdominal surgery. But they were so good. They gave me a private tour of the hospital. They showed me...
They are very nice to you, these people.
They really were. Like,
I've never had such a good experience
I
with
think
any medical professional.
when you've got actually something wrong with you, it's slightly different. But, when you're giving birth, they seem to be, amazing. Anyway, they gave me, a tour of the hospital, where I would go. We did, a walk-through. So I went into, the pre-op area. I went into surgery. I saw the operating theatre. where I would go afterwards. I spoke to someone who had literally 20 minutes ago had a caesarean and was still in recovery. So probably saw their baby before the grandparents did. And then everything went as planned. Daisy Bell came out. I could feel her being pulled out. And then I came out. I was really lucky that they gave me my own private room as well, because I felt like, you know, having a disability and being on a public ward with other people, I didn't like that idea. So luckily they did. It wasn't guaranteed that I'd have a private room, but they did give me a private room with my own bathroom and stuff, which I think was better because I needed a lot of help, you know, having been...
Yeah.
Oh my God, that was, yeah. And that was fine. Then we came out of hospital and then the pain kicks in.
Oh God.
I came out, they kicked me out of hospital so early. So I had her on the Tuesday and I was out by Friday, maybe even before. And I was not ready to come home. And when I got home, my body went into shock.
God.
Yeah, and I was like freezing cold, and my mum put me in the bath, and then I was just in bed for a week or two, I think. But the baby was healthy and she was fine and she was gorgeous and she still is. And that was, you know, that was the main thing, isn't it? It doesn't. You don't really worry about you. I'm not gonna lie. It was. I personally found it quite painful.
Yeah, I feel like having gone through so many medical dramas and traumas in my life that I kind of think pregnancy, like, is that just another one? That I'd be like, oh well, you know, it's just something else to go through. Or conversely, would it be too much? It's so difficult to know without actually doing something and going through it. But then you had a baby to cope with.
So then I had a baby to cope with, and then literally week by week, you know, the pain subsides and you heal and you do start to feel a lot better. The midwives, they were okay. They came in and they did their thing, and that was it really. And then we had health visitors and. I'm not gonna, you know what that means. And I was also seen by a special physiotherapist who deals with women's health and for women who have just had a baby, so they help you with your pelvic floors and things like that. And I remember her coming into the room and she was like, oh, this is so exciting because I get to do some actual physiotherapy with a person who really needs it. I was like, well, maybe you're in the wrong job. This is her
Sorry,
job.
honey, but shouldn't you be doing that every day with everyone?
So they're giving me like the pelvic floor exercises and
might
things
be
like that, but
physio.
that really wound me up. Have you ever had anything like that? It's like, it's really exciting because
like it's the most minor thing, but I have no reflexes. And every time I'm in the hospital, they're like, oh, no reflexes. And then they call in the med students to gather around my bed. And they show off that I have no reflexes. But yeah, people do get a bit excited.
They do, don't they?
They do. Or the best one is when, you might not be able to tell, but I am actually deaf and I lip read. But I also sign, and whenever I meet someone who knows the smallest bit of sign, they're like, I know sign.
I did that! I know how to sign giraffe.
Yeah, but it's a bit different when they're like a medical professional and they can't sign anything related to the medical profession. They're like, whew, I know some swear words in sign language. I've twisted my ankle, could you fix that? Oh no, you're gonna give me your 5 sign words swear language. Great. People get so impressed with themselves.
My aunt's uncle's cousin's auntie's wife is disabled.
Do you know her?
So there I was. I had this little teeny tiny bundle of joy. But what do you do with it?
I feel like that's the worry of every parent.
Yeah, it was a big worry, but just remember, it can be done. Where there's a will, there is a way, and you can make it work. You know, whatever you want to do, if you want to do it badly enough, you'll make it work. So before I was pregnant while I was pregnant and I was kind of freaking out about it, I was trying as much as I could to find some resources somewhere, but there isn't really anything. I mean, Facebook had only just kind of been invented then. This was back in 2008, 2009, and there wasn't all the communities and things, but now it's amazing because there are so many communities, and I will leave one link down below because I belong to a Wheel Mummy group on Facebook, and that's amazing. If that was around while I was pregnant, I would have loved that. They have some amazing tips on there. But I mean, you've got to just do what's natural for you. So I mean, I had the baby in a Moses basket next to the bed, but I had the C-section, and you know, I think so sore, and lifting her up was such a struggle. And I know it's a bit controversial, but I had her in the bed with me. I mean, there are many cultures around the world who have been co-sleeping for years and years. I mean, you've got to know what's right for you, and as long as you're sensible and you know you're not on any medication that can make you drowsy, you know, it's a natural thing to do. Also, I was able to breastfeed, and I mean, if you can, that is really handy because you don't have to worry about the bottles and things like that. And getting up, exactly. So that was really handy, but please don't stress out about it if you can't breastfeed. It is not the end of the world. It's just a little tip that if you can. It was insanely painful actually.
Aww.
And I think if it had been any other situation I would have stopped doing it, but I persevered with it, and yeah, I did.
And also because it's not easy for you to jump out of bed, go downstairs, make a bottle, bring it back. So, you know, it might be painful, but it is the best case scenario.
Yeah.
I'm not even a mother, and I get really annoyed about the kind of dialogue around motherhood and how there's like a right way to do things, and it's like the natural way, and it's so special, and like giving birth is meant to be this amazing like journey. You know, surely the important thing is that you have a baby. That the child is alive, That's important, and you're alive. Everyone's alive. And good. That's all that matters.
They say, oh no, you shouldn't use, you know, baby wipes. You should use cotton wool and warm water.
Whatever.
Water. But that's not going to make my life easy, and my baby is fine with the wet wipes. The reusable nappies were clearly not going to be for me. No way, Jose. So you've got to do what works for you and what's right for you. And if baby food, okay, you can, people say, oh no, you must blend your own baby food. But, you know, if that doesn't work for you and a jar is more convenient, then
so what are you supposed to do? Stand at the counter chopping your vegetables and blending it?
Yes. And you can get really good baby organic, like, good ones these days. Yeah. And a couple of other really useful things is I had a bubba sling. I'll see if I can find a link for that or something. So it's like this little sling, and then you can lay the baby in there, and then you can wheel around. And the baby can use that from birth, and that was really, really great.
That would also be really cool, because then, like, when you're out and about, don't need a buggy?
No. I am the buggy.
Yes.
Yeah, and that's how I got her to the
This is what
car.
I'm going to be. I'm going to be the buggy.
Yeah.
This is
You
giving me
might
so
have to
much inspiration.
Yeah, you might use your wheelchair more.
Yeah.
Not because you necessarily need it, but it's easier for you. I also
find it's much easier for me to just get anywhere in my wheelchair than it is to use my feet. You've given me some amazing advice, and I have to say, we're kind of like hoping to get pregnant in the next year. So I'm probably going to be texting you a lot, like, advice. What do we do about this? But like, what about this? What about this? Oh my god. But
I'm just going to be, there's no pressure or anything.
Oh my god. But what's some like really good, just practical tips as well?
Practical
for when
tips.
you have an actual little baby, and what do you do if your mobility is reduced?
Have stuff everywhere. So I had a change bag downstairs, a change bag in the car, a change bag upstairs.
Oh, I like this.
I changed the baby on the floor. I don't know how, for me personally, I find it quite easy just to flop on the floor. I put the baby on the sofa or on the footstool I've got here. And also, and it's a bit undignified, but I did actually carry the baby. I crawled a lot. I don't know if you're able to crawl, but I crawled a lot with the baby. Yeah. And spent a lot of time on the floor with the baby. You know, you can lay on the floor.
That's nice.
And
That's a nice bond as well.
Yeah, exactly.
Hanging out together on the floor.
Yeah.
I do that with my puppy.
You hang out on the floor a lot though. I've seen a few videos of you on the floor.
I've just spent a lot of time lying down on my back on the floor, so might as well do other things whilst I'm down there.
Make the most of your time.
Yes.
Yeah, so those are my tips and my story really about my pregnancy and my birth. I hope you found it useful. Make sure you give it a big thumbs up. Let me know your tips down below, whether you're a mum or a dad. There's actually not much advice out there for dads,
Yeah.
so make sure that you get involved and drop us a comment down below. We'd love to see them. And head over to Jessica's channel. I'm over there as well. We made a video all about friendships, which is really, really handy with lots and lots of tips as well. So thank you so much for watching, and I really hope to see you in my next video.
I know, I love waving.
I know!
Bye.
Sometimes I like this.